So we're back. Alright, so where we left off is the Seleucid Empire has killed the son of Seleucus, the ruler of the Seleucid Empire. Parnia has killed him, and now they're at war with Imperial War Goal Challenge. So it's interesting, this is actual historical event. The leaders of the Iranian plateau had to fight off nomads to their east throughout the history, or at least the history when nomadic powers were the supreme military powers in the world, which is basically until the invention of gunpowder. Invention and actual effective use of gunpowder in armies. So that happened there. Interesting thing is, before Alexander's invasion of the Persian Empire, the previous Persian emperor was killed in battle against nomads to his east. It set up a succession dispute which weakened the Persian Empire greatly before Alexander invaded. So I think points out one thing to me is that I think it's important to contextualize history. Otherwise we have a false sense of what actually happened, and we get caught up into various narratives that aren't very helpful. So that's a little bit about Seleucids and Parnia. So they're fighting, but I'm planning to go to war with Bosphorus Kingdom, and they are fighting with Armenia. And if it goes well, I can take Taurica and Moesia and all their lands here, which have a substantial number of pops. You can see full of pops. Now these are Greek Hellenic pops, but for me it doesn't matter. If I take them, I can convert them into migratory units, and I will have a huge horde. But what I will do is I have this guy, he's traveling. I like to send and put them onto the forts because they ignore borders. So I might as well put them on forts. So I've got two more here. And so these two will go on the fort in Tanis. Is there a fort at Pencapion? Let's see. No, he deleted his fort. Well, that was dumb. That was really dumb. So he doesn't have any forts in Taurica. It will be easy to occupy. So I will send these two over here, and then this last guy, he will go join up this guy. What I do is I send the migration units out to sit on the fort before I declare the war. Alright. And then I just use the levies to come and take the war goal. So, and I've got mercs too, so I'll send the mercs to that area. So you can see I'm losing gold because the mercs, and I'll lose more gold when the levies are raised. So that's why I have a bank of gold to kind of deal with this situation. So one issue you see is that the Armenians are starting to occupy this land, and if they take this, then I won't be able to take it. So, they're not there yet, so now's the time to declare the war. So it actually, the war goal is Bosporanum, so it doesn't matter if they take this, so I can wait. Well, alright, let's see. I need that and that to connect to Bosporanum so I can actually take the land. So let's declare the war. Before I do that, in case I run into any troops caught red-handed, loyalty, I'm not going to jail him. I need the guys. And Tanis is the war goal, so I'll put the guy there, 51. This guy will be the second strongest, 51. Put another guy here in charge of this army. He's at 61, and then here at 56. I don't know how the generals are selected. I have some great generals, but when I migrated, I had some crappy generals. So who knows? So we'll take Bosporanum. Boom. Now we're at war with them, and we will raise our levies, and we will proceed to occupy Verkassa. So, okay, improve the office. This is finesse guy. It's our magistrate, so that's more gold. Right now we need the gold, so we'll spend the PI. So let's slow this down. I forget to slow down wars. It usually ends up bad for me. And now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we can take that fort or this province capital before the Armenians do. So our levies and our mercs are all going over there. Hopefully we'll get there before any Armenians can, so that if they do peace out, they can't take the land that I need to connect to Bosporanum to actually take the territory. So unfortunately for the Bosphorans, all of their troops were over here fighting the Armenians and losing, apparently. That's why they're all retreating. So they're in pretty bad shape. One thing to do here is, oh my goodness, this guy's got a 12 marshal. He's fantastic. I want to go on this fort while I can in order to start the siege there. Bosphorans will probably start hiring mercs or bringing other people out, and those can be dangerous against my migratory hordes. It's just light infantry, after all. Regardless of how many they are, they're just not that strong against like somebody. He's got 6, but it's light infantry and cavalry. So that's why it's there. So on this fort here, I want to pull, now that my levies are there, I want to pull these guys off and chase the Bosphorans. So I don't want them to, because these the levies are pops, and the migratory hordes are pops too. You really don't want to lose units. Now you can lose men, but you don't want to lose units. So that's very critical. So we're going here, we're sieging these. Now the Bosphorans will come and retake capitals and stuff, but province capitals. But as I keep occupying them, it'll keep them busy and allow me to siege the forts. And they'll also come and try to take my territory. But that's when I send my levies back to my land to reoccupy. You can see here I've got barbarians, putting in work. So here is this first levy of Tarka got beat by the Armenians, and now there's their king, and he's running back into my guy. So I'm going to stop. So I fight him, and there he's defeated. Now this guy, Tarka, is another one. Who am I fighting? Oh, I'm just fighting them. I could. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's chase him and see if we can stack wipe him. It would be beneficial. But I don't know where he's going. I'd rather get these guys moving out and get them away from these areas, because Our Armenians are coming. They'll probably occupy Taraka. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but that's what they should do. So that guy's gone. I think he was stack wiped. So I'm going to get out of here and go back. So the Siege of Fangor is won. And I'm going to go to Ancapion, the capital. They don't have a fort on their capital, which is really stupid. So you can see these Armenians are there. If they go over here, then it's bad for us, but they're not going to do that. So we are going to go there. So you can see we're taking losses here. Even though this guy's got a 12 martial, he's absolutely taking his time. We're taking down Tanis. And I think that's related to the units that are involved, because they're you can see I lost a unit there too. That they're light infantry, and so light infantry. So I've got this all occupied. It is at 99. Their war with Armenia ended, and now I can basically dictate whatever terms I want. So we'll sue for peace. We'll take that and that to connect them. We're already at 22 aggressive expansion. We have to take that to connect that. We want to take Moesha. And on Avasagoy, we're at 42 already. And, you know, we probably only got 2 cities. Let's take a look at the cities. Yeah, 2 cities. Let's cancel out and go back. I'd like to take Taraka, but let's see what it gives me. Aggressive expansion is 12, so I'll go to 54. So let's check out other parts of the world while we're doing this. You can see that Parnia is putting in work against the Seleucids, and they've got an uprising with Media Felix, and they're still at war with the Parni. And Egypt has turned it around, and so this is not good for the Seleucids. It's good for us short term, but it's not good for the Seleucids. Now I will get a border with Armenia. It's a little troublesome, and I need pops to fight them. So I think, or I could actually just, you know, come here, migrate, pick up everybody, and just remove the border. But the Bosphorans, another issue is they could resurrect. Scythia is still a power. But the Bosphorans are a bigger challenge. What I want to look at is within their cities, they've got population. Let's review the pops. And then they have Scythians and Moesians. So let's see, are they, yeah, they're assimilating to become Bosphorans. So they haven't integrated the Scythians. So within this Taraka, they're 93% Bosphorans. 82%, sorry. Okay? And here, they're 81% Scythian and 10% Bosphorans. So if I can take Taraka, then that means that their levies will be reduced and they won't have troops to fight me. So that's what I'm going to do. Even though my aggressive expansion goes to 54, which is bad, the negative at 54, I'm going to deal with it. So boom, now we're done. So you can see now we're super huge. First thing I want to do is disband my levies. Okay. I'm going to appoint governors for Albania. I usually do this based on loyalty. So he's going to be 2-2. And the most loyal guy should be in Taraka. So you can see here he's at 73. His loyalty is at 53, sorry. So let him just stay there. Next, these mercenaries I'll disband. The Armenians can't make war yet. they don't have a claim. I'll dismiss an incumbent, or they may have a claim on Tarka, I don't know. And dismiss this incumbent, dismiss this incumbent, and dismiss this incumbent. So at this stage, I've got all of these tribal levies. So the Armenians, they could make war for Tarka and then sail ships. I want to make that how they have to fight me. So I'll make it hard for them. So I'm going to go to Gorat and all these territories here, and I'm going to pick those people up. Actually, I'll pull them all into Rakasa. I'll pull several into Rakasa. So Zabender, okay, and it's got one freeman, so I'll turn the slave promotion off. And now Suthander, so that's 13 and 14. I'll move them there to this 12 spot. Suthander, that's one. And then Magrai, one. So you can see they have freemen. And then over here, let's see, this Ampensia has lots of population room, and I want to move from Maltese. There's Maltese here. I can only move 2. And then from Gorat, okay, that. Make sure these slave promotions are off. Did I change it here? No, okay. And then here. And then I want to move from Gorat. So you can see I can't depopulate them because they have people in them, but I'll let it go. Now I'll set it going, set my trade up. So this will give me loads of income. And eventually I'll come here and pull all these pops out. So I don't know why they didn't have something on their capital. That's absolutely ridiculous. So now I'm at 4.92 gold. I got one fort. I would like forts on the river crossings. Actually, I don't have one fort. So this fort maintenance, how many? This is level 3. I'll leave it. Yeah, it cost me a lot of gold, but hey, it just makes it more difficult to conquer. I left the Bosphorus Tanis. They should be happy. You can see that stability is going down by 0.09, and I've got high aggressive expansion. Bad things happen, but now I get the third Xanthi migration, losing food, so they are going to move there. I don't need to lose any more pops, and I've got an divine sacrifice to call down, and so we're going to go with the stability again, and that'll keep that high while I get the AI down. And what we'll also do, we'll finally change our diplomacy stance from neutral to appeasing. I think the one other thing is to make an alliance with Scythia, because they can help me fight the Armenians if necessary, and if we go to war with the Bosphorans, I like to have them retake this area, and then that way they'll be a much more powerful ally. And of course, they want an alliance. That's understandable. They're about to have a revolt, so that's fine. So how could we refuse? This guy, 17, he's 8. Yeah, why not? Let's give him that monthly promises. Justice is done. Oh, so this guy got imprisoned. He's accruing gold, though. Oh, wow. This guy's going to take his money while he's in jail. So he was our arbitrator, which is not good, because he was taking down that aggressive expansion. So now I got to pick another guy. I want a high level, You can see here their statesmanship is not that high, and I want him to be young, so he stays in office a long time. And in this case, it's probably better to choose somebody from a clan. So this guy's got an 8, simply because if I need to make changes, I don't have to change him around. This guy's got an 8. He's 40 years old. That's reasonably good. This guy's 34, but he's only a 7. But that'll give them 4 people, and this will give them 3. I'll go with him. So now I'm here as a vendor. Let's take a look at the pops, and I want to see when they demote. For April 485, so in a year. April, and then Gorat, April. So do they all have 1 pop? Yeah, I think so. So April of next year, we'll need to check them again, because Armenia will definitely attempt to screw us over. So it's just how they roll. It's understandable. We'll move these migratory units over here because, well, yeah, we'll move them over here because we're going to need them eventually to pull out pops. And there's just not a lot of food over in this area. So we're waiting for April of next year. You can see here, Parnia basically took over this area. They'll form Parthia eventually. So they're at war with Bactria, Seleucids. And let's see, Seleucids still at war with Egypt, so they can't really respond, and they're about to have a civil war. Now, if this civil war fires, they could be in real trouble. Now, I don't know if I want that. So, first episode, I talked about why I wouldn't go all the way through this playthrough. And it's simply because it's way too frustrating. And the reason it's frustrating is because the Moria. The Moria, once the Seleucids are super weak, they will eat up Bactria, and they will eat up the eastern Seleucid lands, and then even if you get here and you form Parthia, you can't defeat the Moria. It's too much. It's one of my critiques of the game. I mean, they come over the Himalaya mountains with 40k stacks, 80,000 troops, like 5 of them. The Hindu Kush mountains, and the idea that this region could support armies of 200,000 men is just laughable. Because the 40k stacks are actually 80,000. So 4 of those times 80,000, that's 320,000 men that they put into one region to fight you. And then not only that, the armies have elephants, and the idea that you could support elephants in this region is also laughable. So I think that's one of the flaws in the system that's currently in Imperator. I think that the levy system, gives too much power to, people with lots of pops and integrated pops. Now, maybe there should be a reason for that, but the Moria example shows why it doesn't make sense. So the changes I'd recommend, where I would think that either you limit it to citizens and nobles, so that way the size of the levies get reduced for these settled or civilized cultures, or you put some type of logistics penalty for armies, right? Because an army, a levy based out of this region, which is Prakya, that army fighting, and I've seen this, fighting in Medea, right, should suffer. Those troops so far away from home, that is ridiculous. And I'd also say if that's the case, that these levies can just travel far distances and huge numbers of levies, how could Alexander ever beat the Persian Empire or the Maurya? I mean, the numbers would be overwhelming. The fact of the matter is, it's just not realistic or historically accurate. Anyway, enough about that digression. But that's why I'll get here, I'll go form Parthia, and then I'll end this playthrough because it's too frustrating. Now, in the previous version, 1.53, while we're waiting for May, I think it's May 485. So while we're waiting for, March 485. While we're waiting for March 485, in the previous version of the game, you could the Marians were still super aggressive, but there was a limit on how many troops they could raise, Maurya, because because of the money. So they couldn't, Now there is a limit here because they're limited by the amount of pops, and they can make legions with those pops, so it takes some time. But what it means really is that other countries are even more limited because they have less pops. So before, other countries could hire, or as long as they could afford it, could have the biggest armies they wanted. And so they could kind of fight with the Mauryans on an even basis, hire mercs to make up the ground. And it was still very difficult to beat the Maurya, but it could be done if you weren't a major power like the Seleucids. Like right now, I don't think that anybody could perform the man who would be king achievement, Bactria, conquer certain lands in the Maurya territory. It's just not possible. So I think it's broken for that. And I think another thing that it shows, the other things they could do, let me take a look at my pops because they run out of food. Well, almost. So let's move these guys over here. Another thing they could do is, so we're at September 485. Oh, this guy should have, they demoted. Okay. So move here. Where's the bender? Okay, Suthander. Yep. Suvender. Yep. Magrai. Yep. And then Gorat and Maltese. Here. Okay, so Gorat. And then Maltese. Did you re-promote him? I think they did. Let's see what happened. Oh, there's two. Yeah, but he should be able to move, and maybe I'm missing I skipped over it. There it is, Maltese. Oh, and he's still got one. Okay, so we'll let that go. So the other thing they could do is, the reason why the Maurya can send so many is because they have, the Magdi culture is integrated. And you can see here, if you click on the Magdi, it shows you where they are. So you can see the majority are here, but the Magdi are integrated, the Shuraseni start out integrated, and the Abanti start out integrated. So, and those are the main populated territories in the Mauryan kingdom, in India, actually. So with that, they start out with a huge amount. Now, compare that, because if all things were equal, the Seleucids are just as big, have as many territories, have as much population, they should be able to fight. the Morians. And what you see is that the Morians will take out the Seleucids, but you hardly ever see it the other way around. So for freedom, liberation, the chiefs of Cheronessos had taken upon themselves to free a sizable quantity of privately owned slaves. We could intervene if we think it's best. Letting slaves get too comfortable could have repercussions. So this guy will lose loyalty, the governor of Taurica, or I could say, how do they manage without slaves? Let's see, does the province lose loyalty? He gets corruption, he gains loyalty, I lose popularity. I'll take that. So what I was saying is what they could do is, instead of starting the Morians with the Shurasani and Avanti integrated, they start them with them not integrated. One, that makes it a more competitive battle between the Seleucids and the Mauryas. Because the Mauryas, the Seleucids, they start out, they have the Babylonians integrated, which is really great, and they have the Persians integrated. So that's why they can lay large stacks, but as you can see, with the Persians and the Babylonians, those are much smaller populations than the Shurasani and the Avanti. So that's why the Seleucids, when they face the Morians, most times they get their butt kicked, for lack of a better term. So let's go back to the viewing the pops. The demotion should occur in June 486. But I'm checking out the loyalty here, and aggressive expansion. I can do another bind sacrifice. And what I'd like to do is, now that's below 50, I like to start pull pops out of Taurica. I can pull them out and then just release Taurica as a client. I don't want it. Or I could keep it. It doesn't matter. But it's not really that important to me. So we'll start with the highest populated, 32. Should be the former capital. Yeah. So this is at 32 of 35. And the pops there are 26 plus foreign, 6 Scythian, 27 Hellenic. So I need, in order to get this so I can move, I need 28 of my pops. Okay, so we're just going to move them all there, and we will settle 28. Okay, so we've got 39, so you can see it takes a lot. So that's 20 there, and now I need 8. So one of these, if I split it, I get 10, and I get 9. So how many pops are in the territory? 52. If I do 9, that'll probably be the best. 9. Okay. So now it has to hit the end of the month. And now they're the high Jewish with 61. So I'm going to migrate twice. It costs 5.11. You can see how it's gone down. And the 21 that are there, I'm going to leave them there. So they're mostly the high and the Jewish. And I don't want to take down my population. So you see that was 39. Now it's 44. And I'm doing this so that I could, one, settle these pops as my culture and religion, and then 2, so it'll take down the unrest, and 2, to get more migratory units, so I can colonize land. Alright, so this is 23, and 18 and 17, so if I settle 20, that should be enough. So I could do the exact amount, but hey, let's just do this. So now I let it go for a month. Alright, and boom, I take them out. Now 23 to 28, and I've got 11 to high there and 11 Jewish. So that's converted that. Now, I didn't take any pops out. I can do that later. But right now, I'll just do this to get the unrest down. So you can see the aggressive expansion is at 0. So my ruler's fallen ill. So he should have enough money You can seek treatment. What did he get? He has dysentery, common military disease, so not a big deal. So these other 2 cities, I'll work those, but for now let's take all these guys back, and I want to get, since it cost me 5, I want to get that stability up. Medical accident, now he's brain damaged, not good. That'll ruin his martial. You'll go here. I'll let the treatment continue because otherwise he'll just keep the injury and the brain damage. So you can see how he loses 3 in all of his stats and his health goes down. So now he's got brain damage. Thank you for that game. He's pretty much not the great leader he was, but he did his job. And I think that's one of the reasons why you fight. Why you fight battles. Where's Maltese? Okay. So Maltese. There we go. So now I don't have a border with the Armenians anymore. So I think that's one reason why you fight battles when you see opportunities and take land and high aggressive expansion. You can see here, since his zeal went down, now my stability is going down, is because you never know what will happen with your leaders or events. So we can see the party is going out there. All right, so I think I'll end it here. We'll come back. We'll do some more population extraction, and I think we'll slowly colonize all these areas since we're now allies with the Scythians. And it's fine to leave them around. We could do what a lot of other players do and betray them. But for now, I'll leave them as allies, and it'll kind of keep the Armenians in check. They may try to launch some seaborne invasion of Taurica, so having the Scythians around helps. All right, I think that's it. All right, take care.